You're welcome back, and this is the last part of the show this time around. We started, of course, since 6:30 in the morning. We are being joined now by Tosin Edun. Tosin Edun is an Abeokuta-based farmer. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Good morning, viewers.
Okay.
ẹ̀yin lẹ́yìn wá nílé lórí ọ̀rọ̀ iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ ni a fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí ní abala tí a wà yìí. Wọ́n ní iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ níṣẹ́ ilé wa, ẹni tí ò bá ṣiṣẹ́ á jalè, àwa ò sì gbọ́dọ̀ jalè. Gbogbo wa là ń rojọ́ ìgbà wọn àgbọ̀n wọn ìkòkò bàbá àjàsùn náà àti wọn, ṣùgbọ́n ilẹ̀ kékeré wà lẹ́yìn ilé wa tó yẹ ká ṣe nǹkan sí, kí ló yẹ ká ṣe sí. Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Tosin Edun ti wà pẹ̀lú wa lórí ètò Ọ̀túnjọ́ lówùúrọ̀ ni. Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Tosin Edun mo kí yín ẹ̀kọ́ ojúmọ́.
Káàárọ̀, ìwọ̀n wa nílé mo kí n pé káàárọ̀.
All right, thank you very much. We want to take a look at cluster farming, the prospects and challenges of this. When you talk about cluster, that is a group of people coming together to leverage on their comparative advantages so that you can maximize the inherent benefit. That is, when you come together like 5-10 people, you'll be able to do a lot and there will be mass production. So cluster farming in Nigeria, can it work at all? Because we are used to hoes and cutlasses farming where an individual will go. Though in those days, there is this we call Aro, where you come together, you work on somebody's farm today, the next day you go to another person's farm. So with the trend of things all over the world, is it achievable in Nigeria?
Yes, cluster farming is achievable in Nigeria because it's the new trend now. And if you go to any investors now, especially government or banks that want to finance farmers, they are looking for us to finance those that are in clusters. Okay. Generally, when we are talking of cluster farming, we are talking of a situation whereby if you are planting maize now, all maize farmers come to one locations. Number one effect of it is that the people that want to buy, it will reduce their cost of moving to various farms to go and be picking their produce. Take for instance now, we have about 3 cluster farms in Ogun State now. We have one at Ijebu-Ode, which is being organized by the Ijebu-Ode Development and Poverty Alleviation. Okay. We have one in Ogun Central, which is also being coordinated by Egba Cluster Farming Initiative. Okay. They have their own farm at Odela Farm Institute. The government is in support of them. And we also have one at the Yewa side also. And there's another one, the 4th one, which is at Remo. Because government we have discovered that for farming to be more effective and for farmers to receive support, they must be in one location. And the Ijebu's people took advantage of that 16 years ago, and they have been operating on the cluster farm. And for now, their annual revenue on sales of fish alone is almost 1.2 billion annually. So if you talk of it working, it has been working for past 16 years. At the Ijebu side, the Ogun Central people now decided that if we decide to scatter and stay apart, when federal government interventions is coming, when state government want to support farmers, when banks want to give out loans to farmers, they are more comfortable when they are in clusters. So we found out that when international agencies are also coming, their airport is at Ijebu-Ode because they believe that they are in one place. So the Egbas now said no. Things can't continue like that because it has become a trend. The Yewa also took up the thing and it has been working. Like the one in for Ogun Central now, which is a Egba Cluster Farm Institute, the state government has approved the Odela Farm Institute as a way for farmers to come in and put their resources. The economic summit that is being done in Ogun State recently, most of the people, they talk more about agric. And when these foreign investors came, they were asking that, where are the cluster farms? Because if they want to buy their raw materials, you cannot expect me to be going to Sapon or Olomori and be calling all farmers. They now said, you people be in one place. It's easier for government to fund. It's easier for technical support to come. It's easier for those that want to buy to come and buy. And there's nothing like saying somebody wants to cheat you in pricing. It's uniform. And when we talk of loan default, it reduces. So this is why we find out that when we talk of loan default, it has been working. The state government have had a real partnership with the Ijebu-Ode Poverty Development. It has worked. So the Egbas also are coming together. Okay, just with
this explanation that you have provided, what has it translated to in terms of food production? Because that will be the number one gain. Because when you have 20 people coming together to farm, that means there will be mass production. There will be a lot that will be coming from that farm. So have you been able to achieve that as well too?
We have. Take for instance, when we talk of fish production now, let me start from fish production now. At least in Nigeria, when we talk of where to get fish in mass production, Ijebu people have been able to do that one. When we talk of cassava, we talk of 3 local governments in Ogun State here, which is Obafemi Wode local government, Ayetoro and the Ijebu people there. It has really been there that it has been injected. It's all that statistically it has, but people may not see it. But in terms of helping in food production, cluster farming has really helped. If you go to Ogadep now, they tell you that cluster farming is on for a program of value chain, which is on IFAD, which have been able to do massive production of cassava. They have given input to farmers just recently, and before you know, it has enlarged the production capacity of most of these farmers. So in terms of production, I think it has done a lot.
But one thing that will also already come to mind here is that once we have mass food production that way, then there should be a reduction in prices. But the reverse is up.
It is
supposed to be happening now.
It's not going to be sudden. Okay. I got what you are coming to, what you are trying to talk. It's not going to be sudden. You know, we have left agriculture for some time. Okay. You get what I'm trying to say? And we are just coming back. And that thing cannot be sudden. That gap, it will take some time. And when we talk of farming, it's not something that we just put inside engine and we produce. You don't assemble farm produce. It has gestional period. Cassava will take about 9 to 12 months. So when you are talking of trying to fill in the gap, there will still take some time. But in terms of enhancing the capacity of the farmers, government is putting its own, and the cluster farming has really been helping. So that one will not shy away from that though there's still gap because we have abandoned farming. And you find out that because of this cluster farming, many people are now coming in because they now find out that it gives them security to be able to access funds. You know, the Yoruba Adega said, Adanejo, Olonshekupa, and that has really been affecting us, especially in Ogun Central and the Jewa side. So we look around, if you talk about every farmer in their axis, you tell you that they don't have problem. But if you call any farmer from Ogun Central or Jewa side, say they don't have, the government is not supporting. But the problem is that because we have been putting much of individualism into our farming, and it has not been helping. But now with the Egba Cluster Farming Initiative that the other Farm Institute is on, those that are in poultry, we are in one place. Those of us that are into fish, we are in one place. Those of us that are in we are in one place. So when that one comes in, government now want to give us loan. Government now has confidence. You know, I came on here sometimes ago that when some people were saying government is not, government felt that they have given out loans to the Ogun Central people before. They defaulted. They pay back because they were able to use what we call centralization of their disbursement, whereby if you want to sell, you don't sell, you sell, the person that wants to buy will pay into a central account, and when you finish, they give you your own share, and the person that gave you money will take his own. So the rate of loan default has reduced. So that is exactly what the government is more comfortable with. That is what we have been discussing with our investors, and say, okay, in the Ogun Central, we will be able to come and empower you, but you must be in one place.
Oh, boom. Okay.
Tí mo bá gbọ́ nínú àgbẹ̀ yìí kí àwọn àgbẹ̀ máa dáko mọ̀ lójú kan náà, oníkálukú á mú sáré ilẹ̀ tiẹ̀, wọ́n á jọ ṣàdéhùn níbí yìí o, pákí la fẹ́ gbìn lọ́dọ̀ tiwa o, lọ́hùn-ún ẹja la fẹ́ sìn, lápá àtọ̀hún ehoro la fẹ́ sìn, lóríṣiríṣi bẹ́ẹ̀. Tí kálukú bá mú báyìí tá a jíjọ wà ní ojú kan náà, ṣé ẹ rò wípé kò ní máa fa ìkùnsínú bóyá ẹni tí ó rò wípé bóun bá máa tajà tó ní náírà 10 lòun máa tà, tó wá jẹ́ wípé nígbà tó ti dójú kan náà lákòókò wà àwọn tó máa rà máa wá káwa mọ́bẹ̀ ni ẹ ti wá lọ ṣàdéhùn pé kíní yìí náírà 8 la fẹ́ tà fáwọn tí ó fẹ́ wá bá wa rà.
Kò sí ìmọ̀ tó fẹ́ mú ìkùnsínú nínú pé kí àìsàn àpapọ̀ convert àǹfààní ẹ̀ pọ̀ ju ìkùnsínú tó máa mú wá lọ.
Àwọn àǹfààní rẹ̀ ló ní.
àbàtí wà bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé tí ó bá pé mo dá wà, àwọn tó fẹ́ rajà tẹ́ pé nǹkan tó fẹ́ rà ó pọ̀, wọ́n sọ pé àwọn lè wà bá ẹ dòpọ̀ because nǹkan tó fẹ́ tà fáwọn táwọn bá máa gbé tírélà wá, tírélà ń gbọ́dọ̀ wá sí ojú kan, irú pákí káfí pákí ṣàgbéjúwe nísìn, àwọn tó wá fẹ́ ra pákí tẹ́gbọ́dọ̀ fẹ́ gbé tírélà wá, wọn lè kọ́kọ́ wá sí Ajébọ̀n bíbáyì kọ́kọ́ wá rà kí tírélà yẹn tún gba ibòmíì lọ kó tún máa lọ rà kélékélé, ṣe àwọn pé owó tó máa náà máa pọ̀. then two advantage àǹfààní kejì tó gbà bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé àwọn tó máa ra yẹn tẹ́ bá ti jọ ṣàdéhùn pé òkè tó bá yẹ pé ẹ ti jọ ṣàdéhùn pé bóyá ogún náírà lè fẹ́ tà tí ó tún dìgbà tẹ́ pé ìgbà tó fẹ́ rà tẹ́ pé nǹkan tó ti yàtọ̀ àǹfààní àdéhùn kan tẹ́ pé ó tún lè gbọ́dọ̀ pé iye tó máa ń ta nǹkan gbà yẹn wọ́n máa tó tà kì í ṣe pé wọ́n máa sọ pé bóyá nǹkan tó ti ṣẹlẹ̀ àwọn àdéhùn bẹ́ẹ̀ ó níbẹ̀ bá ti ṣàdéhùn sí.
tó wá jẹ́ pé ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ iye owó ẹ̀ wá mẹ́ǹkan.
ibi tẹ́ ẹ fi sí ẹ náà ló sì máa wà wọ́n máa ń ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn ló ń pè ní àwọn onímọ̀ pé ní off takers tẹ́kù tó wá fẹ́ gbà àti sọ pé òkè ó kéré pé o iye báyìí la máa rajà yìí but tó bá yẹ pé gbàtà fẹ́ rà rẹ̀ pé ohun tó ń pè ní market prevailing price ló máa tún wá fi sí nígbà yẹn àǹfààní kẹta tó tún wà bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé tẹ́rí kò ní sí nǹkan tó jẹ́ pé bóyá wọ́n rajà wọ́n gbówó wa sá lọ tẹ́lẹ̀ ìjẹ́ ìpínlẹ̀ ògbé ẹlòmí kò lè wà ẹgbẹ́ ó lè kọ́kọ́ rajà kọ́kọ́ kó san fún kó dé ẹlẹ́gẹ̀ẹ́ túbọ̀ ní ẹgbà ìlàjì owó òun padà bọ̀ kó lè gbé bẹ́ẹ̀ kó sá lọ but níbẹ̀ yẹn kó tó rajà ó máa ti lọ sanwó sí àkáǹtì ìtẹ gbogbo yẹn máa gbogbo bá kọjá tó máa ní ẹsìn gbélé náà so àwọn àǹfààní tuntun wà bẹ́ẹ̀ nìyẹn.
pẹ̀lú àwọn àgbẹ̀ aláṣepọ̀ lójúkan yìí ìjọba ẹgbẹ́ aráàlú ń pariwo kò sóúnjẹ níbi kò sí apáàlù iyọ̀ náà ò sí bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni sómi gbogbo ẹ̀ náà ni wọ́n sàn ní kòsíkòsí ìjọba sì ti ní ẹni bá nílẹ̀ rògbòdó lẹ́yìn kò lè lé bójá tari bómi bá ṣe ní kó mi síbẹ̀ nínú ẹ̀lẹ́ntíríkì ṣe gbìn kó rì mọ́lẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ kó ní kálukú dàpọ̀ pẹ̀lú pé wọ́n fẹ́ máa lọ ṣe aláṣepọ̀ iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ àti ká máa dàpọ̀ kéékèèké lórí ọ̀rọ̀ pèsè oúnjẹ láwùjọ ìpàwòrò nǹkan.
ipa tó ń kó pọ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí mo ṣe sọ ní èdè Yorùbá ipa yẹn ó lè máa hàn ní ẹsẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ nísìnyí tó mo sọ pé àti fi ṣàgbẹ̀lẹ̀ mo sọ lórí ètò ìgbà kan pé ìgbà tí mo lọ sí Ọ̀dẹ́dá níbi ọ̀sẹ̀ kan sí ibi ọ̀sẹ̀ méjì mo ní pé gbogbo àwọn tó wà lábúlé bẹ̀ àgbàlagbà ni wọn ọkọ́ àti àdá ló sì fi ń roko báyìí máa àwọn ọ̀dọ́ tó wà níṣẹ́ wọ́n ti kéré so nípa ipa tó máa kó yẹn a máa ní sùúrù díẹ̀ ni because kì í ṣe nǹkan tẹ́ pé máa jẹ́ ní kì í ṣe gbọ́sọ̀ ṣàlẹ̀ nínú ìbò pé iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ kì í ṣe gbogbo àkàntì bọ̀ nǹkan gbọ́dọ̀ àkàndẹ̀ fàyọ̀wá ó ti dóúnjẹ a máa gbin ni pákí kò tí ì sẹ́ńtì tó gbogbo náà fi ń ṣe pákí a máa gbin pákí náà ni kì í ṣe gbogbo àmọ́ gòkè àárọ̀ là ní ìṣòro ti ṣẹ́ńtì wọn gbé tẹ bá fẹ́ jẹ pákí o ẹ̀kàn tẹ bọ́tìn akọ̀jáde bíi pákí ti jáde a máa gbìn wọ́n máa roko wọ́n máa ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ tó gbogbo nǹkan yẹn ló fi jẹ́ pé kì í ṣe gbogbo ipa ẹ̀ ó lè má tètè wọ̀n ìyẹn ló fi jẹ́ pé ìjọba fi ń mú àwọn àgbẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ nísìnyí but ipa yẹn taba ní sùúrù díẹ̀ ó máa mú àjẹmọ́ bọ́ àwọn ọ̀dọ́ tó yẹ máa mú wọn wọnú ilé tó yẹ máa fi ṣe sọ pé òkèèyàn náà ẹ fẹ́ràn ṣàgbẹ̀ ẹ máa ṣiṣẹ́ ìlọ ẹ máa ṣe gbogbo ètò ìtẹ́sẹ̀ so by the time tó bá fi wá sí bẹ́ẹ̀ á fi tó bá máa rí ọdún díẹ̀ sí àrí pé tí gbogbo bá rárá padà wọn lè fi rí pé ìjọba fẹ́ sọ pé ẹ padà sí ìdíṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ ẹ padà sí ìdíṣẹ́ because àwọn tó wà bẹ́ẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ arúgbó ni wọ́n àgbàlagbà ni wọ́n kí ló fẹ́ ṣe iṣu tọkàn gbé iṣu gbé kọ́kọ́ lọ gbé lọ́jà olódó kan ta kọ́ńtẹ̀ jọra padà wálé wọn kan ti pawó but àti ìrìn tẹ́ pé ní òfẹ́ gbin àtàní ìṣẹ́ pé níbi 20 hectares kò sí mọ̀tálẹ̀ fẹ́ nǹkan mo ní tó ẹgbẹ́ bóyá àwọn irú Lagos state government nísìn wọ́n fi Ogun state lẹ̀ kẹ́bí náà lọ tó ti lọ gbé rice tó fẹ́ kó wá síbí báyìí but tó yẹ pé àwọn àgbẹ̀ wa tó jẹ́ ní ìrẹsì tẹ́ pé wọ́n ní nǹkan náà pè ní cluster farming àwọn adékòó máa pé wọn kọ́kọ́ gbé tírélà wọ Abẹ́òkúta bí àbí Ogun state bí kọ́ lọ máa ṣe rice kì í bí ànílẹ̀ ilẹ̀ wà but ní pípín kójú ẹ̀pọ̀ yẹn ìgbà tá a péjọpọ̀ ló fi jẹ́ pé Lagos state nísìn ẹ̀wọ̀n bíbà sí Kebbi state lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ tó yẹ lọ́wọ́ ṣàgbẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ tó dẹ̀ pé àwọn bíbà òjò wọ̀ dáadáa anílẹ̀ aní gbogbo ẹ̀bọ̀ ní tó ṣe ní pé ìwọ̀n tó ń pè ní cluster farm yẹn kò sí.
Okay, just are there no challenges at all? Because you talked about accessibility to fund that government or any organization that want to give out loan will easily have confidence in a cluster farming group that they will give the loan to them. So are there no challenges at all that all are just going on well with cluster farming?
Yeah, the challenges number one is the issue of the agreement between those people to come together.
Agreement about what?
The farmers.
Okay.
To be in one location.
Is it okay? Be in one location. No agreement about the sharing formula.
No. Because take for instance now, like the Odeda Farm Institute that government gave to Egba Cluster Farm Initiative now. It comprises of we have 6 local government under the now the farmers must agree that number one, we have to leave our comfort zone and first of all be in one place. That has been the major challenge. Some people say, how can I leave Ewekoro? How can I leave Ifo? I get from that say to now come to a central place And but look at what happened in the Jebus. People from Lagos have farm at that place. It is that has been the major challenge for the agreement for farmers to say, let's put our individual differences apart and let's first of all be in one place. Those of them that when they now agree and they now use that place as a platform for government to recognize them, you cannot go back to your individual farm at your place and be using the profit there to expand it. The major challenge there has been the farmers coming together. I gave an illustration in the Yoruba here now that Lagos state government went to Kebbi state because I think being Lagos state our farmers have a position. You can't blame the government for this one. It's the farmers. I think when they have the position and they say, okay, let's stay in one place, let's get this 5,000 hectares of land. I want to use this place solely for rice farming. And if they meet the government has no choice than to quickly support them. The company says and Lagos will say, where were you before? And we are wasting our time going to far north to go and look for rice. But the challenge there is farmers agreeing.
What about accessibility to land that you can use for such cluster farming? Because virtually everywhere has been taken over now by houses being built, industries springing up, and so on and so forth. So how do you also have access to virgin land?
The accessibility to virgin land is open, and the government is ready to give all the. You see, when we talk of land in Ogun State, I get the government is the owner of the land.
But not every land is fertile.
The technology has gone beyond whether it is fertile. There are things that can be added to the land to make it fertile. In Ogun State, there is nothing like a fertile land. We don't have. We are not in Ogoni land whereby we say there is all spillage and all those stuff here. The issue has been for people to be able to harness this opportunity. Go to the state where I'm a member of the Egba Cluster Family. When we approached the government for Odeda Family Institute, the state governor was very happy with the commissioner for agriculture. We had received support from the director of fishery department. They said the place has been lying down for long there, and they were happy. So when the Ijebu people they started with just 10 hectares of land, they have occupied almost 50 hectares or so, or more than 150 hectares now.
Given to them by government or acquired through their own?
Given to them by government. Okay. It's government acquired land. So when we go to government acquired and tell government that we are rice farmers, we need 1,000 hectares. Why not? The government will be there. So is the problem that I'm seeing is farmers agreeing. I get what I'm trying to say, to come together and forget the individual.
Okay, can you please hold your chair? We have a caller here. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
ẹ káàárọ̀ mà o. Kí ni ìbéèrè yìí ìbílẹ̀ tí ń pè wá o? Láti Abẹ́òkúta. Ẹ ṣé mà. Ẹ ṣé mà wá dúpẹ́ o.
All right, thank you. Just a word of greetings to us there. Now, we're talking about fertile land. Okay, if every land in Ogun State is fertile and so one can approach government, is it only government that a group of people coming together to form cluster farming group can approach, or they can go on their own to approach any individual that has a vast land that they can buy? Because I'm looking at the cost now, because the cost implication is equally there. If you are buying land on your own, you can imagine the money you are going to spend on such. How do you contribute the money? What will be the sharing formula by the time you start selling your proceeds?
Well, when it comes to farming like this, we do advise farmers that they go for leasing. I get one. It's not if we are talking of building houses, you can talk of outright purchase. But when it comes to farming like this, even all the farm settlement, they are on lease. Okay. For farming purposes, it's better to go on lease. I get one of them say like for rice farmers now, if they said they want 1,000 hectares for leasing and they come together, I get what I'm saying. Although so there will be some people that own that land, but when they lease it from them, it's more easier.
Okay, please, we just hold your time. Let's entertain this caller. Right. Hello, good morning.
Hello,
ẹ káàárọ̀ sàn. Kí ni ìbéèrè yín?
Ṣé akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ Ìlọrin ló dé tọ́lá nípa ìwé ní àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ sọ látẹ̀kọ̀ àwọn ìfọ̀gbẹ́ ní ọ̀tọ̀. Ṣé ìgbàlódé ìrọ̀wá tí wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe àgbẹ̀mọ́ tí lè gbà sí pé ó ń lé pàtẹ́yìn náà ìgbìmọ̀ rẹ̀? Ó fẹ́ kí àpàdà sí ìṣòro nítorí fún gbogbo àìní ọ̀la mọ̀ pé ìṣòro náà ìṣòro ti ọ̀gá. nígbà tí iye ìrọ̀ tó tún rẹ̀ jáde lọ́dọọdún fọ́ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀ ọ̀dẹ̀ tó padà sí iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ ó ṣe àwọn ọmọ ohun tí wọ́n sọ ẹsẹ̀ ìjọba náà tí wọ́n bá ń kájọ náà tó ń bá ní kò ṣe àgbẹ̀ tó ń pa lọ́pọ̀ tó máa jẹ́ àǹfààní tó lè yé wa tó mo ní lámọ̀ràn nìyẹn.
So you're looking at that, the challenge of acquiring land. So you said the best way to go is to go for leasing.
Is to go for leasing, because that way it will reduce the cost. Like generally in Ogun State here, if you want to lease an hectare of land for a year, for those that are doing cassava, it's between, it depends on geography, but at least minimum is 4,000, maximum is around 7,000 or 8,000 per year.
Okay, now can you give a statistics of how many farmers should come together to form a cluster? And if you have given that number, then what should be the various types of crops of people that you can identify? Okay, you are into cassava, I'm into fishery, you are into poultry. Who are those that can come together to form a cluster?
Now, when you come to those people that can come together, it's all it cut across all angles of farming. Mm-hmm. Like, say for instance, let me use the other farm institute that that is a cluster farm now. Mm-hmm. There we have those that are into piggery, we have those that are into fish farming, we have those that are into vegetables, because it's more or less integrated farming. One depends. We have those that will be into cattle rearing and fattening. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? We have those that will be into rice farming, because there's a dam there.
Okay.
Are you getting what I'm trying to say? We want to take advantage. When you have a dam, or you can practice even the value chain. You can process we have a processing plant there that will process the raw materials. We have those that will smoke the fish that will be there. So the added value also can also even be there. When you get to cluster farming, it's more or less a one-stop shopping center. Okay. Whereby the growers will be there, those that will process will be there, the marketing aspect also will be there. Are you getting what I'm saying? So the three aspects will be a complete system, whereby those that will grow will be there, those that will process will be there, and those that will do the marketing also will be there.
Okay, please, let's entertain another caller. This doctor. Hello.
Hello, sir. Kí ni ìbéèrè yín o?
Àwọn tó máa rú àti kẹ́rì ṣé sáàtọ̀ náà máa tò ní àdúgbò ní ṣá máa fọ́ ọ̀dẹ́ sí kí àtàwọn tó ń bọ̀ fún o àwọn tó fún lẹ́ẹ̀ tí afẹ́sí bá ti dájọ́ tó ń ṣàwọn fọ́ọ̀tà ẹ̀ ṣọ́ọ̀dọ̀ máa tọ́wọ́ máa pọ̀ ní.
Ẹ ṣe ẹgbọ́n bèrè wọn tó bá di afẹ́ roko ṣe máa dáwó pọ̀ ní àbíkílẹ̀ tí ń ṣe.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni ṣẹ́rí question ṣe bèrè yẹn answer wà very direct. Tẹ́ bá ti ní pé àjọ kó nǹkan papọ̀ gbogbo nǹkan tá a bá fẹ́ ṣe àjọ fẹ́ ṣe papọ̀ ni. Irú ìtẹ́ pé bóyá a ní bíi 20 hectares of land nísìn ohun tá a máa ṣe ni pé a ti mọ iye tí tractor ń gbà fún 1 hectare tí kì í ṣe pé arújúrújú máa wà ń bẹ̀ olóyè tó wáyé pé 10,000 ni wọ́n máa gbà láti fi plow lọ́nà mẹ́wàá ó máa jẹ́ bí 100,000 àti mọ̀ pé 100,000 ni tractor máa gbà tó dé ìgbìmọ̀ lè bá àtàwọn ṣe as cluster lẹ́gbàá pé bíi cooperative bíi 10 àti mọ̀ pé 10,000 ní cooperative kọ̀ọ̀kan máa dá tó wá lè gbé ní cooperative kọ̀ọ̀kan tó yẹ pé ẹ̀yin mẹ́wàá làwọn bẹ́ẹ̀ ó máa jẹ́ pé 1,000 ní ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ kọ̀ọ̀kan máa dá so kí ní ìṣirò yẹn ó ti wà lẹ́ẹ̀mbẹ́ ipa láti wà gbòkè ẹ̀ta kan báyìí o ẹgbẹ́ yìí lónìí o ẹ̀ta kejì ẹgbẹ́ báyìí lónìí àwọn tó bá lè máa ra náà ti mọ nǹkan tó máa wú mẹ́rin ti mọ gbé so kò ń sí ìdàrúdàpọ̀ àbíjà kò ń sí nídìí ẹ̀ nǹkan tó lọ gẹ́gẹ́ ni.
ọ̀dà ṣẹ́gbẹ́ aláfọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ ló lè ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ àgbáríjọpọ̀ àjọdàpọ̀ yìí.
ẹgbẹ́ aláfọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ náà ni ó lè ṣe é ṣe because tẹ́wọ́ wo orú tó jẹ́ ní tọ́mọ̀ sọ pé cluster farming àwọn ẹgbẹ́ alájọ àwọn farmers cooperatives.
ẹgbẹ́ aláfọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ àwọn àgbẹ̀.
àwọn ló máa wá tó máa kọ́ àwọn ẹgbẹ́ wọn dání oríṣiríṣi ẹgbẹ́ ló máa ń kóra jọ pọ̀ kan kì í ṣe pé àwọn ẹnì kọ̀ọ̀kan ló máa wá ẹgbẹ́ ló máa ń wá.
bẹ́ẹ̀ bá wà yẹn wọ́n lè gba iye sáré ilẹ̀ tó bá wù yẹn.
wọ́n lè gba ilẹ̀ ṣe nígbà tó máa fi wá yẹn tẹ́ pé gbogbo ẹgbẹ́ tẹ́ pé irú tẹ̀gbá cluster ta ní nìsí ta ní lọ́dẹ́ dánìsí àti ní ẹgbẹ́ bíi 16 mẹ́rìndínlógún tẹ́ pé nígbà gbogbo abá fi wá yẹn la máa fi àwọn òkè ilẹ̀ tí ìjọba fún wa yìí a lè sọ fún ìjọba pé ilẹ̀ yìí kò tó wa mọ́ bí ìjọba ìjẹ́bóde ìgbà tí ìjọba kọ́kọ́ fún wọn nílẹ̀ 10 hectares tó ń lo bí ọdún méjì mẹ́ta wọ́n tún béèrè fún mi so kì í ṣe pé bóyá bí nǹkan bá ṣe ń lọ ní wọ́n máa béèrè sí nǹkan tí.
Okay, let's allow this caller perhaps to be our last caller on the show. Hello.
ẹ káàárọ̀ o.
àwọn ẹni tó dé láti sọ́ńdọ̀dọ̀.
ó dà sà kí ni ìbéèrè yín o.
ìbéèrè mi ni pé ẹ̀yẹ tó kí ó wúlò fún bẹ́ẹ̀ lè gbèdò rẹ̀ tó ti tẹ̀sí ẹ̀.
ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ní ilẹ̀ tẹ́ fi ń dáko yẹn o àwọn nǹkan olè yẹn lè gbè sórí ẹ̀ o bóyá wọn bá wa sí wọn bá wa bò láti bẹ̀rẹ̀.
tó yẹ pé pákí àti àgbàdo ni nǹkan tí ó jẹ́ nǹkan tẹ́ pé à ń lo tractor láti fi gbìn sí but àwọn ibì kan wà bẹ́ẹ̀ tẹ́ pé àwọn ewébẹ̀ bí ẹ̀fọ́ tẹ̀tẹ̀ ata àwọn ẹ̀ náà wà ń bẹ̀ but ní ògùnṣe generally àwọn kan tá a máa ń gbìn jù náà ní ògùnjú pákí àti kíni but àwọn tó yẹ pé wọ́n fẹ́ gbìn ẹ̀fọ́ tó fẹ́ gbìn watermelon tó fẹ́ gbogbo ẹ̀ apábì kan náà wà fún àwọn ẹ̀ náà ní.
Okay, so and quickly in one sentence, outbreak of any disease, because we know in poultry farming, fish farming, there can be any outbreak of disease. Will that not affect other cluster farmers?
Yeah,
into cassava, into watermelon and what have you?
Normally, when we are doing cluster farming, we do advise to take some preventive measures to reduce the impact of any outbreak, because when we are siting, we look at the proneness to flooding. I get what I'm saying, and there are what we call biosecurity measures that are always taken.
Invariably, there must be feasibility studies that must be carried out in ensuring that there will be any problem that will arise in the near future. Okay, I want to thank you for being on the show. Tosin Edo has been our last guest on this show, this second part of our discussion segment. We thank you for coming on the show. So at this hour, we'll wrap up the show for this Wednesday, the first day in the month of September, year 2016. On behalf of our producer for the midweek edition, Olaikitan Oshiku, we thank you. I'm from Fala.
ẹ ṣé púpọ̀ àdúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín á tún máa rẹ́ra nígbà ní òdìgbà.